No time to waste today. Full show. Got to get done. Got to go. Always on the move. Who am I to be moving so much and be so important to your life? I'm Danny Thompson. I am the narrator of this countdown to restoration, hoping for better days, hoping for better times, hoping for sane policies, hoping to one day see the, come on, thief in chief no more. The thief in chief no more. That's right, thief in chief. Yes, we are contractually obligated to let him do that every day, even when we don't have time. And we must move along, ladies and gentlemen, as we show you the poster child for the Biden regime, Dr. Rachel Levin, who shows all things up should be down, everything down should be up, this way, that way. Everything's wrong. But we do have this thought from a meme maker. Maybe you would think a mean meme maker, depending on your thoughts. It says, if you don't know if you're a he or a she, you probably shouldn't be in charge of America's health. Nah, makes sense to me, but not to those in the Biden regime. But help is on the way. You may remember him as her, Aaron Page, I think that was her name. Elliot Page wants to advocate for other transgender people. And so, there's Elliot. Used to be Aaron. Yes, still looks like Aaron, only with a baseball cap on. I'm thinking. Now, Elliot is much happier than Aaron. Aaron turned out to be a lesbian. So now Elliot, does that make him straight? Oh no, still a lesbian. Just had a mastectomy, but other parts are supposed, I don't know. It gets weird, doesn't it? Doesn't it just get strange? I don't know. More news that Dr. Rachel Levin would like. Columbia University is planning to hold 6 additional graduation ceremonies for students according to their race and other aspects of how they identify. They will, of course, have the Native, the Asian, the Latinx, and Black students taking place for Columbia College, Columbia Engineering, General Studies, Barnard College at the end of April, another FL1, I guess, I don't know, first generation and or low income community, and also a lavender graduation for the LGBTI AQ plus community. Oh, intersex, huh? It threw me for, what's the A? What's the A? Okay, the A's a new one on me. I'm sorry. I thought I kept up with all the different gender policies, but obviously not. So these are things that Dr. Rachel Levin will be proud of. Go Columbia, right? Yeah, we're just weird. Is that the term? I'm trying to be correct here, but it does make these people, the secular Democrats of America, happy, who are the guidance providers for the Democrats and the Biden regime. SecularDems.org, people. Go there. Why haven't you read it yet? Come on, you won't know. As we are in the dark days of the Biden winter. How dark are these days? They are so dark that these are the things making news. Biden energy policy having positive impact on oil prices, negative impact on economy. So says the analysis. Guess what? I didn't give it an analysis. I just saw the price at the pump. So that's what happens. When the price of oil goes up, so does the price of gas at the pump and all other energy, everything tied to energy, such as things that need to be delivered in trucks, on trains, etc., etc. Everything goes up. So this is like a tax. The last time, because I haven't needed very much gas lately, the last time I bought gas, it was under $2 a gallon. Not today. Wasn't that long ago. Anyway, That's just good, more the good to come. Remember we talked about in the COVID relief plan, the American Rescue Plan? Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? We started that yesterday. Where is it? What'd you people do with it? You know, you have something good and you get rid of it. Oh, we don't see it. Where is the old rescue me thing? Geez, people. Oh, well. Give it one did. You know, it's not that hard. It's just not that hard to do a high top quality program. But we have to make it hard. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Anyway, not seeing it. I guess somebody threw it off the program. Anyway, the American Rescue Plan. All right, go away. Part of that involves money for minority farmers. Up to 120% of their debt can be paid off, plus other money given. Well, you know what? Look what these silly, selfish white farmers are saying. Farmers blame Biden for promoting division with billions in COVID-19 relief for non-whites. Blame Biden indeed. I mean, it's not his fault. You white people have had your loans paid off for years. Willie Nelson, do Farm Aid and help you out. Come on. Let's not get just ridiculous here. White people, don't they just make you sick? Yeah, problems for everything. Biden's tax plan will send U.S. economy into death spiral. New Jersey congressman warns. Oh, what do those people from New Jersey know about taxes? Oh, yeah, only one of the highest tax places in the entire known world, ladies and gentlemen. The entire known world. Now, this one's even better, as a tax code optimized for white wealth leaves black Americans behind. Now, probably all the years you've been filling out your taxes, you've never noticed anything where the question says, if you are white, follow this table. If you are black, Latino, or whatever, follow this table. No, what they say is the deductions, because more whites own homes. More whites have more to deduct, so we pay less taxes than black people who don't have as much to deduct. So the whole tax code is arranged for us, the wealthy white people who have deductions. Yes. It's all racist. I don't know how we look at ourselves in the mirror every day. I really don't. We're horrible, horrible people. We're a horrible, horrible country. Chicago Teachers Union tells members not to reveal if they received the COVID vaccine, because then they wouldn't have an excuse to hold out and not to go back to work, even though Chicago is trying to vaccinate all their teachers. See, I told you, these people don't want to go back to work. They want to stay at home in their jammies and do a couple of Zooms every day and still get full pay and benefits. I mean, this is horrible. But on the good news of the COVID front, as we are frantically moving at such a rapid pace, you're probably dizzy. U.S. COVID-19 deaths fall 22% last week. Daily vaccinations set record. That's a good thing. And you know, it's really not even the vaccinations, because it's too quick to have this kind of effect from the vaccinations. Most states, the people that are being vaccinated were staying in anyway. This is just a natural peak of the virus. But what do I know, ladies and gentlemen? I am not a scientist. I am not a doctor. I am not a politician. I can't know these things, but whoa, it does seem to make sense, doesn't it? 6-week peak, bam, deaths fall. Happens every surge. So anyway, we'll see. But we're glad the deaths are going down. But in the meantime, we have a show about what? Make a run for the border. And no, Taco Bell is not a sponsor. And I doubt they would be, but it would be nice. I would eat a taco on there. All right, we have this from, every time I forget, Ambassador Jacobson. Forgot her first name again. Ambassador Jacobson. She is the ambassador in charge of the southern border. She's doing a very bad job. And it's probably because of saying things like this.
Así que yo creo que es muy importante subrayar el caso que la frontera no está cerrada y el viaje es muy peligroso y la gente realmente no debían llegar a los Estados Unidos en una manera irregular ahora.
You're telling them not to come.
Yes, the border is not closed. I realized and said later that was a mistake, but that's what they keep saying. They keep saying it's not closed. They say it's closed, and then they say this.
Angela Fuentes, come on down!
And no, it is not funny. But what else do you do? They won't let us do anything about it. Oh, and I told you there'd be a major policy change come Tuesday, which would be today on the border. It happened so quick, there's not a news slide to show you. The White House has announced that President pretend Joseph R. Biden will visit the border. I mean, even yesterday, if you were watching, oh no, we're not going to do that. We have no plans, nothing to preview because the pressure's on. Yes, the pressure's on. Pressure. This thing's bringing them down. Couldn't happen to a nicer group of people. Let's see. Southwest border crossings on pace for highest level in 20 years. The admin itself is saying it. We're not making it up. It's not just a paper saying it. No, listen. DHS's chief, Mayorkas, says border numbers on track to be highest in 20 years. Concedes situation is difficult. Situation is difficult. It's difficult. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on Tuesday said that the U.S. is on track to encounter more migrants than it has in the last 20 years, as he still defended the administration's approach. These people need help. They not just help at the border, they need help to think. Situation at the southwest border is difficult, Mayorkas said in a lengthy statement. We are working around the clock to manage it, and we will continue to do so. That is our job. We are making progress, and we are executing on our plan. It will take time, and we will not waver in our commitment to succeed. To succeed? What are you trying to succeed at? Obviously not keeping people out. We will also, see, this is the problem. They say one thing, then they say another. We will also not waver in our values and our principles as a nation. Our goal is a safe, legal, and orderly immigration system that is based on our bedrock priorities to keep our borders secure, address the plight of children as the law requires, and enable families to be together. See, when you say stuff like that, Sec, short for secretary, dear Sec, you're sending a dual message. I mean, it's not that hard. Spoke days after, they're building extra facilities. There's one just opened outside of Midland just this Sunday. I mean, oh, come on. Can people, see, you say don't come, but then you say things like this.
We are hoping to reunite the families either here or in the country of origin. We hope to be in a position to give them the election. And if, in fact, they seek to reunite here in the United States, we will explore lawful pathways for them to remain in the United States and to address the family needs. So we are acting as restoratively as possible. I am very...
See, if you tell me we're just gonna send your kids right back to you, I stopped sending my kids. But if I say we're gonna give you the choice, do you want to come here and be with your kid, or do you want your kid sent back? I'm sending my kid. People, please, why is this difficult? Because they keep talking.
We need individuals to wait, and I will say that they will wait with a goal in mind, and that is our ability to rebuild as quickly as possible a system so that they don't have to take the dangerous journey, and we can enable them to access humanitarian relief from their countries of origin. The fact of the matter is that families and single adults are indeed being returned under the COVID-19 restrictions. Let me then turn.
And that's why we'll just send our kids, but others are getting in and they're crossing illegally. Border Patrol's going crazy. But again, he keeps talking.
Established. What we are seeing now at the border is the immediate result of the dismantlement of the system and the time that it takes to rebuild it virtually from scratch.
Oh, wait. Now, this is from a couple of weeks ago. Secretary Mayorkas trying to make everything better. What we're experiencing is the borders being closed versus being told they're going to be open. It's not that hard. They keep saying, oh, it's their fault because they broke the system. They were keeping people out under Trump as best they could. They're working to make immigration through the door. But now there is no door, but we have, I keep forgetting her name. I don't know why. Again, a dual message.
Madam Ambassador, do you think it's a coincidence that as soon as Trump and his immigration policy were on the way out and Biden and his stated policy were on the way in, this historic surge at the border started?
Well, first of all, one of the things I think is important is we've seen surges before. Surges tend to respond to hope. And there was a significant hope for a more humane policy after 4 years of pent-up demand. So I don't know whether I would call that a coincidence, but I certainly think that the idea that a more humane policy would be in place may have driven people to make that decision. But perhaps more importantly, it definitely drove smugglers to express disinformation, to spread disinformation about what was now possible.
And
we know that.
If the change in administrations brought hope, then from your perspective, is this surge good?
I don't think that's what I just said. I think it's a reflection of how migrants feel at a particular time. I think what we are doing is making sure that we respond to that hope for people who need protection. We respond to that hope in a way that their cases can be adjudicated more quickly. But I don't think anybody would say that coming to the United States in an irregular fashion is a good thing. That's why I've tried repeatedly to dissuade people from listening to those smugglers. But we're going to try our best to do everything we can at each end of this in the United States, but especially in Central America and Mexico, to ensure we have safe, orderly, and legal migration.
Okay, Omar, Jen, go ahead.
See, you can't say it like that, ladies and gentlemen, because they hear something different. They just hear hope. They hear, come on. Jake Sullivan, National Security Advisor.
Bring in and taking our questions. I want to ask you a question about immigration diplomacy. When he was vice president, Joe Biden went to Guatemala in the summer of 2014. You were on that trip as his national security advisor at the time. He went because of what was then an unprecedented surge of unaccompanied minors coming across the border. One of the things he said on that trip in June of 2014 was, we can, A, first make clear in each of our countries in an unrelenting way, not just with a public service announcement, that there is no free pass, that none of these children or women bringing children will be eligible under the existing law in the United States of America. He said that was number one, and then he went on to describe root causes and American aid. Why has that not been the message that this White House is sending now, clear and unrelenting, that none of these children or women bringing children will be eligible under the existing law?
So the president has made clear, and this administration has made clear, that we are going to pursue an effective and humane immigration policy and unwind what we believe was the ineffective and inhumane policy over the course of the last 4 years. That's point number one. Point number two is we've made clear that now is not the time to come to the United States. We are dealing with a circumstance in which we have to build the capacity to be able to assess the asylum claims of individuals who arrive here, and we have to deal with the obvious public health effects of a pandemic. So we are sending the message clearly, and you heard it from Roberta Jacobson from this podium earlier this week. We're doing so in the region as well. But the president also believes that under our laws, people who are claiming asylum deserve to have their cases heard properly, effectively, efficiently, and as swiftly as possible. And that is the policy that we are going to pursue.
Do you really believe that message is being received clearly in an unrelenting way? I mean, there was a young man quoted in the Wall Street Journal this week who said that this president seems more friendly to him than the prior one, and he believes he'll be able to come to the United States on that basis.
So this is day by day something that we need to be able to communicate from a range of different perspectives from this podium, in the region itself, on the airwaves, and we will continue to do so as we go forward.
You know, again, you can't say don't come, but offer hope that you can get. I mean, it just makes you say, with this guy,
you don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
No, they don't know how to do this unless this is what they want to do, which is what I think. They want people to come. They just wish it wasn't happening like this. They wish that. I mean, and this is killing them. This is not helping them. It's not helping the country. It's a guy that was down on the border, Julio Rosas. Just spent 3 hours right off the U.S.-Mexico border, and I'm still in shock at how many people illegally crossed during that time. I knew it was happening, but it's different when you see it up close. Story to come on what I saw. I will say this is definitely a crisis. But the pretend president will be down there and say, oh, we're doing a great job. We're going to take care of this, and then they're going to blame Trump. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Biden admin denies lawyers access to migrant facility. Now these are the, this is, if this was happening under Trump, we'd hear what we heard then. But no, can't do that now. These are the good people. Texas bar owner says migrants hiding in his bathrooms. I mean, it's just, is this it? I hope so. A Texas owner of a bar situated on the southern border says the migrants are hiding in his bathrooms and trucks as they seek to evade authorities, the latest sign of a surge at the southern border. When I go in the morning, sometimes I go to do some work. There's people in the bathroom. They hide in the bathrooms. Me and my brother own a trucking company too. They hide in the trucks. I mean, this is just all over. And nobody wants to stop it. Backlog of migrant children in Border Patrol custody soars to 4,200 with 3,000 held past legal limit. Under Trump, it's like, no, we're not going to do that. But see, they're not very bright unless this is what they want to happen. Texas rancher sounds alarm on migrant surges, smugglers driving right through fences onto property because it's a free-for-all. I mean, even the liberal media is reporting it. The Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center will be used for up to 90 days beginning as early as this week, according to written notification sent to members of the Dallas City Council on Monday. U.S. to house up to 3,000 immigrant teens at Dallas Convention Center. But there's also a facility opening up outside of Midland in what they would call a man camp for the oil industry, just place to, because housing just isn't out in those areas when it's a booming situation. Going to put 3,000 to 4,000 out there. Where are all these kids coming from? I mean, they were delivering busloads last night. I mean, and you say, oh, I'm tired of hearing of it. How can you be tired of hearing of it? It's the biggest thing happening in our country. Washington Post warns Biden facing political threat from border upheaval. This isn't going away. They keep thinking it's going to go away because they say something. But reporters won't answer. Everybody wants answers. It's like, oh no, we want illegals to come, but not 10,000 at a time. You can't keep holding out hope and saying, we want you to come, we just don't want you to make the dangerous journey. What? Forget that. I want to get there now. I don't want to wait for you to get your system in place. I want to get there now. Everybody else is coming. They'll be out of all the good seats by the time I show up. They'll be out of the good low-paying jobs by the time I show up. Man, got to get there now. Come on. Come on. Biden border policies enrich drug cartels, charging $6,000 to smuggle migrants into U.S. So says an Arizona sheriff. What in the world would an Arizona sheriff know about such things? U.S. is opening a new facility to handle the thousands of children entering Border Patrol custody. There they are. Is that it? No, that's just Border Patrol. It's just little things like we've shown you before, little portable type units that they have on the border now. Government officials opened a new emergency intake center for unaccompanied immigrant children Sunday to help ease overcrowded conditions in border custody, according to an email and government statistics reviews by BuzzFeed News. Yep. Health and Human Services Department planned to open the Emergency Intake Center as a way to cut down on the overcrowding at Border Patrol stations and facilities where more than 4,200 children were in custody as of this weekend. Those facilities were not designed for minors, and the new center aims to place children in a setting more designed to their needs, according to government officials, or this particular government official. It's just not stopping. Pelosi, Speaker of the House Pelosi, says unaccompanied children arriving at U.S.-Mexico border is a humanitarian crisis. It is. It is, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, she blames it on the Trump administration. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, California, on Sunday said that the influx of unaccompanied children arriving at the U.S. border, humanitarian crisis, and the result of the policies of former President Donald Trump. See, that makes zero sense because they weren't coming. He had stopped them. They weren't coming like this. They started coming because during the primary, all the Democrats were saying, yeah, we're going to have open borders. And as the election neared, they started coming just in case Biden won. And he won, and they just keep coming. They just keep coming. I mean, they don't want to stop. Even Senator Manchin from West Virginia, you know, that very important Democratic senator right now, he kind of controls the Senate, says border situation is a crisis as White House refuses to use word. I don't know what the word's going to help except to identify it. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. This is beyond anything anybody in government knows how to deal with because it just keeps happening.
I got unaccompanied minors!
Is this some kind of prison?
What do we do? You've got to stop. You got to say, no, you can't come in. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Yeah, we'll have to get that one. Just thought of it. That's a good one, isn't it? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's just, it's beyond all reason. It's all beyond all reasonableness. Oh, which one? I know we've got so much to do. Should we just do the long one? Let's start with this one. Have you ever driven from, say, Texas to California, Southern California? You go through New Mexico. Now, you can go high or you can go low, but if you're going to San Diego, you need to go low. Which I and my beautiful wife were going to one time. Drove all the way from Abilene, Texas to San Diego. A very interesting drive. Not a bad drive. We had a great time. We went through Gila Bend. It ain't much. You would not want to live out your life in Gila Bend. Even they admit it's not the best place in the world. About all I thought Gila Bend was a gas station and tourist center. Souvenir shop. Anyway, this is from the mayor of Gila Bend, Arizona. Arizona mayor outraged as feds plan to drop off illegal immigrants in his community. Now, that's not kids, ladies and gentlemen. These are adults. These are families. All right? The mayor of Gila Bend, Arizona, told Fox News on Monday he is very concerned about the escalating crisis at the Mexican border as news of a potential unending influx of illegal immigrants are basically heading his way. An unending, never gonna start. We'll be heading for his community. Mayor Chris Riggs, an independent, told Your World that his town, about halfway between Sonora, Mexico, and Phoenix, is essentially being made into a waypoint for illegal immigrants captured by federal authorities. He told host Charles Payne that Gila Bend is already very economically depressed, and if you've ever seen it, it is, and that it does not have even the basic resources necessary for what he fears could be an expensive, unfunded mandate of sorts. And if you saw it, you would know the man is telling you the truth. He's not exaggerating. They don't need an influx of anything but money there. We can barely afford to take care of the people that we have here in our community now. And as of this second, the Border Patrol advised us that they're going to drop people off here and to sort of like, they're your problem, said Riggs. We just do not have the ability to care for these people, quite frankly, and it's going to cost us tens of thousands of dollars a year to be able to provide them with a bottle of water and a sandwich when they get dropped off. Yeah, I mean, man, what would you do? What would you do? These people are probably going to sue being dropped off in Gila Bend. I would. Like, this is where you bring me? Riggs said that other than the notification his town will be a drop-off for captured illegal immigrants and asylum seekers, the feds are not providing any crucial empirical information such as coronavirus infection rates of the migrants, the number of migrants Gila Bend can expect to see, or any other basic data. He told Payne he is therefore very worried for the elderly population of his area. I have a lot of seniors and elders here between Gila Bend and San Lucy Village that are susceptible to COVID, he said, referring to a community just north of his downtown that is populated mostly by members of the Tohono O'odham tribe. And I thought they were taking care of the tribes now. I guess not. We have not seen the coronavirus outbreak that other areas have seen in Arizona, yet we're going to get punished for their choices, he said. We're completely in the dark. We asked documentation, some kind of documentation. Give us something. We're still not getting anything. So, we're really frustrated in how we're being treated through a crisis that they started. Yeah, they started it. Everybody knows it but them. Riggs later added that his home abuts the expansive Sonoran Desert National Monument and that he has seen an uptick in foot traffic through the area that appears to include a sizable number of persons acting as drug mules. Couldn't happen. These are honest, hard-working people. Just want to come here and get ahead. Hopefully not ours. It needs to stop. The federal government has to step up and do their job. They're the ones that created this problem. They need to fix it. Payne added that as of late, border crossers have included people from outside the typical Central American countries accounted for, and that Cuban, Brazilian, Romanian, and Haitian nationals have been witnessed coming through the border illegally. This happens every time. They get to Mexico, and then they can just come in. And from Cuba, you can fly to Mexico. If you can get out of Cuba. You know, it's just, ladies and gentlemen, it just won't stop. Just won't stop. This is a long but heartbreaking article. These children are in bad situation. You know, we're not going to stop it. The least we can do, I guess, is bring them all to a hotel, to a resort or something. They never saw the sun, lawyers describe overcrowded conditions for children in Border Patrol custody. And remember, these are kids. Some of them stayed out on their own. A lot of them, they were forced into it by their parents who are waiting to hear. Waiting to hear that they can come and be reunited with little Julio in the schoolyard. Me and Julio in the schoolyard. Anyway, no, you don't know that one? All right. A staggering number of migrant children detained at a Border Patrol facility in South Texas faced overcrowded conditions, with some held for as long as 7 days. This came out on Friday, I think, Friday or Saturday. So it's new. But again, they release it on the weekend so it doesn't get much coverage. Not on Sunday, but at the start of the weekend. Lawyers who interviewed them on Thursday told CBS News just this past Thursday. Naha Dazah, I guess, I don't know, a lawyer representing migrant youth in U.S. government custody, said she interviewed children who said they were hungry, as well as minors who only showered once in 7 days. Yeah, that's nice and sanitary, isn't it? Some of the boys said that conditions were so overcrowded that they had to take turns sleeping on the floor. I mean, really. I'm going to skip, all the particulars. That was in Donna, Texas. Are we in 4? On March 2nd, the Donna complex was holding more than 1,800 people, 772.9% of its pandemic-era capacity, which is designed for 250 migrants, according to an internal CBP, Customs and Border Patrol document reviewed by CBS. Most of the minors said they had only showered once while in U.S. custody, even though they'd been held for more than 5 days, according to Desai. Some said they had showered twice. They all said they wanted to shower more and were told they couldn't. Okay, I mean, I don't understand why not, guess that's the door. As lawyers representing migrant children in the federal court case over the landmark Flores settlement agreement, where they can only keep them 72 hours, Desai and her colleagues at the National Center for Youth Law are entitled to interview minors in U.S. immigration custody, which they did not think they would have to do under the Biden regime. Little did we know. I think we just did that, didn't we? Yes, we did. Let's do this one. Desai said she and one of her colleagues were only able to interview some of the hundreds of migrant children detained at the Donna facility, a large tent complex designed to detain unaccompanied minors and families with children for short periods of time. The lawyer said that CBP denied them a tour of the facility. Again, this is under Democrats. They're not supposed to do this. The Donna facility, which opened last month, has been operating over its pandemic era capacity for weeks, CBP acknowledged in a recent, I bet the next word's report. What do you think? Oh, I don't have it. Recent report. The Donna facility, which, well, if we would quit doing the same slides, if you people back there would pay attention. in a recent filing in federal court. The facility was holding 854 children on February 21st and nearly 700 2 days before, according to the court filing, which also noted that social distancing could not be observed at all times, given the increasing number of individuals in custody, which the CDC helped out by reducing the rules. Yeah, that wasn't political. You think that was political? You think the Biden regime kind of leaned on them? Oh, no, it was their decision. That's what Jen said. How many believe that? Okay, children interviewed included a young teacher, included a young teenager. The children interviewed included a young teenager in U.S. custody with her baby, an 8-year-old. With her baby and an 8-year-old. I was trying to figure that one out in my head. I'm sorry. With an 8-year-old unaccompanied girl. Some of the children who traveled with older siblings were even younger, Desai said. There was a staggering amount of very young children, she said. Many of the children were visibly emotional, Desai said, especially siblings of different genders who had been separated and placed in separate places, I would think. Been placed in distinct sections of the Donna facility. The young detainees, Desai said, also reported not having access to outside activities. She said the children told her about how they never saw the sun. One of them shared that he could only see the sun when he showered because you could see the sun through the window. They're in tents. Why can't they go outside the tent flap? I mean, it's just... You don't treat kids that way, do you? I mean, it just... Okay, we keep going back to the same one, people. Let's try this one. The minors Desai spoke to also said they had been denied phone calls to communicate with family members. They were hysterically crying, want to talk to their family. And you feel sorry for the kids, but family, don't send your kids. I know, it gets you in. So if your kids suffer emotional trauma and the family gets to come in and be reunited here, hey, what's the big deal? Remember, Jen said, they're loving arms. And they keep saying these kids are escaping prosecution. Do they mean persecution? Why would an 8-year-old be escaping prosecution? What did this child do? We appreciate the extraordinary challenge that the government faces in undoing the damage of the prior administration's immigration policies because they wouldn't let people in. See, these people think that everybody has a right to come here. That's what they're operating from. I keep telling you that. The regime thinks so. The lawyers think so. These people have a right to come in. That's what they're undoing, is the don't come policy, and yet they didn't understand because they can't think. They just think of these great things we can do, how we can make the world perfect, and they don't think if we say we're going to do that, millions will come. If you say it, they will come. We appreciate, yeah. That said, it is deeply concerning to see the young children in facilities for days. Well, I'm sorry, we weren't ready for it, and we just couldn't let everybody into a nice house. Unable to take a shower, call their families, or see sunlight. Yeah, that's disturbing. The Department of Homeland Security said Border Patrol agents are working to quickly and efficiently transfer unaccompanied minors to U.S. Refugee Agency, which Congress charged with housing these children. I mean, it's just a lot. Addressing the flow of unaccompanied children crossing our southwest border is an important priority of this administration and DHS, Department of Homeland Security. The department said in a statement to CBS News, it requires a whole of government coordinated and sustained response. I am so tired of, since we started the whole of government process, nothing gets done. Have you noticed that? Everything is bad. Stop the whole of government process. During a call with reporters Wednesday, acting CBP Commissioner Troy Miller said his agency was struggling with the number of migrant families and children in its custody. I thought there's just children. Everybody else was turned away. Remember that? But he said CBP was offering children access to medical contractors, welfare checks, blankets, baby formula, hot meals, and showers at least every 48 hours. You lied. Many of us, maybe most of us, are parents. They keep saying that. I myself have a 6-year-old. Oh, who cares? Would you send your 6-year-old across the world to get here? Agents go above and beyond every single day to take care of the children, and I'm sure they do their best. I would. In an interview with Univision's Jorge Ramos, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said he saw too many children when he visited the Donna facility earlier this month. I saw too many. What? How does that help? So you saw too many? What's the answer? But he applauded them for their heroism. There are no children in cages in the United States, Mayorkas said, according to a transcript of the interview. They weren't in cages before, people. We're just... A sharp increase in the number of unaccompanied minors entering U.S. custody along the southern border has severely strained the government's capacity to process them, creating significant humanitarian and logistical challenges for the Biden regime. More numbers, nearly 9,500 unaccompanied children were taken into U.S. border custody in February, a 20-month high. You know, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't call and make your voice heard, they just keep on going. They just keep it up. They're not going to stop. They're just going to keep letting them in. More than 7,000 of these minors were transferred to shelters overseen by the Office of Refugees, with nearly 9,000 children currently in custody. That's as of Thursday, when this was written, not even a week ago. The refugee agency is scrambling to expand its bed space. Duh. See, we can't even get a proper number on all of this. 9,000. Let's look at that. With nearly 9,000 children, let's make it 9,000. That's right. 9,000. Not just 3,000, not just 4. See, you know that because they're opening up facilities for thousands, not just one facility. They keep doing it. The lack of bed space and upward trend of unaccompanied minors entering U.S. custody has led to a logjam of migrant minors in Border Patrol facilities, most of which were built to briefly detain adult men. You know, we could just keep going on, but you get the picture. It's horrible. It couldn't be any worse. But it just keeps getting worse, doesn't it? Just keeps getting worse. And they won't do anything about it. They won't. They're just going to keep letting them come, but Biden is coming down. A major policy shift, as we told you, was coming on Tuesday. Expect more because this is too big. Call and tell them. Stop this. All right, it's Godformation time. Some inside information for you. Where'd our fireworks go? People are not cooperating with us today. All right. There they are. Thank you. This should upset you as an American citizen. Call your representative. Call the White House. Say no more of this. Biden wants to tell how he beat Trump. He also wants to tell so badly. They keep telling him no, but he has but you know, he wants to get out and talk about it. He wants to get out and talk. He wants to tell people what all he did, and he's doing it on the vaccine. He wants to be the hero. See what happens on this tour he's on. A woman, now, and I have an article, I didn't have time today, an article about how the previous woman who came out and spoke said that Biden had sexually harassed her. Actually, more than, harass. We need a better term. There's assault, and then there's talking bad, and, and they just made her out to be just a horrible person, and she wasn't. They lied about her. New York Times lied. It's been proven. But another woman wants to come forward to make a complaint against Biden. He exposed himself to her and tried to get her to respond. The reporter, she told his people they are trying to intimidate her into silence. Pray for her. She needs some help. And there's a lot more, but they told the paper doesn't want to do it. They told the administration, and, it's just got to protect at all costs. There is a disconnect between what Biden's people want to do and what the outside forces that really control desire. The outside forces are stronger, but it makes planning and implementation challenging for those inside. But there's starting to be many cracks in the wall because Biden's people are being tired of being controlled. One of the things they would like to do is do the border differently, but of course they can't because outside interests are controlling that want this country flooded. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for today. Hopefully you're seeing this ending. We had a little glitch. We're going to try to fix that. If not, you're going to see an abruptly cut off show. Anyway, we'll see what we can do. God bless you. God bless America. Pray for the kids on the border, the kids being held in custody. Call and make your voice heard. You want this stopped. They can stop this. Trump did. They can too. Bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.